I don't think anybody got them.
No.
I don't think, I know David didn't get it. I didn't get it.
I didn't get it.
Sandy's the only one that I don't know.
And I
Didn't get
don't
it.
think she got it because she's been, well, she probably left for the weekend. I mean, her mail would have got to her when mine got to me, I would think.
They all went out together. So that's all about 3 weeks ago. So
You know,
I don't,
we may have to.
I think the post office ate them.
Well,
we just may have to do what, I mean, we just may have to spread out over the big room in the fire hall there
I don't think that's a bad idea.
to get
I
this
mean, maybe
done.
not for every meeting, guys, but for a budget thing where you all have to be in the same room and who's talking over who.
Yeah, and you got to
and
have those
it may
big
be
sheets
better off.
right in front of you.
Yeah.
Why don't we plan on that? Stan, are you comfortable with that at all?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay,
You know, we each take a table in the side of the room and yell at each other.
Yeah. That's fine.
we do that anyway.
Yeah, well, I wasn't thinking that, but you know, I've had it, I mean, that's a big room, and if we have 6 or 7 of us, or, you know, it's gonna work okay.
What Highland did is they have tables very similar to the ones that you have. And they put 6 of them, or they put 7 of them in a big circle. And then everybody sat at their own table.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Just the round ones or the squares? Yeah, we can make it work, guys, and everyone can have their own table with more than enough area.
I
There's
think
plenty
that's,
of
and so Jim, you know, well, no, it'd be fun to work those spreadsheets over in anticipation of such a meeting. So I'm going to encourage you to see if we still can't get those. You know what?
Yeah,
No, wait a
because
second.
these
Jim,
were on,
let me make a
they were on
suggestion.
11 and they were on 11 by 17 paper. So
Let me
they
make
were
a-
easy to
That's
use.
easier to see.
let me make a suggestion, because maybe I can solve this problem pretty easy without, I mean, I don't mind doing this. I mean, I can take your email up to
Best blueprint.
great printing, and
Yeah.
you know, the next thing I know, I got 6 copies, and I don't mind the trouble of, you know, mailing them around or saying, stop by the firehouse and pick up your
What
set.
I think.
I mean, you've done it all, and great printing. I mean, you know, it wouldn't cost them you know, and I'll keep a record of what it cost, and it would probably be $12, maybe 20.
Well, it's worth it, whatever it is.
Snail mail hasn't been working very well lately. through
Yeah,
the
no,
post
I'll just
office,
get that
so-
done. But I think the thing to do is I'll let everybody know that they're at the firehouse, and it'll be their business to get to the office and pick them up.
All right, well, can you do me a favor and wait on doing that till we talk a
Sure.
little bit about it tonight?
Of course.
There's a couple of mistakes that I just want to correct,
Sure.
and they're pretty
Well,
big.
then, exactly. There may be a new version
ticket
before we can
items.
get to this.
Okay, here's Sandy. Hi, San.
Okay.
So we'll decide later when we're gonna do that meeting.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I jumped ahead.
All right,
Okay.
why don't we start this meeting?
Start it up.
All right, hear ye, hear ye. Shall we say the pledge?
Yes,
Sure.
ma'am.
Okay. Pledge allegiance
Pledge allegiance
to the
to the
flag.
flag.
Flag, United States of America,
And
and to the republic for which it stands,
One
one nation,
nation,
under God,
indivisible,
visible, with liberty and justice for all.
Perfect. Thank you. Motion to accept the minutes from the last meeting, which I had and are gone.
The revised ones went out. That was from 7/13.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of the July 13th meeting as revised by Kristen the last time we received them.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, great. Treasurer's report. Jim, you're up.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I emailed out the report this morning. Diane said that she couldn't, she had trouble working down there at the end of last week. So I guess she went in on Sunday and did it. Because I found it in my inbox this morning when I came. So that's why it came out at the last minute. Again, there's nothing spectacular in this statement. It looks like we're going to be spending a lot of money towards the end of the year on different projects.
Well, they are painting the building right now, so. they're
Yeah, I saw you
painting
had paid
stuff.
out the down payment on that. That happened I guess that was on the accounts payable. I don't think it's in the, oh, it is. It's in the first payment was in the
Packet.
accumulated deferred maintenance. It's the $3,500.
Okay. Perfect.
That's on page 6 of 10, or page 4 of 10.
Can I get Jim, would you clarify for me, please, what has happened to, both from the point of view of what has already been allocated and what remains to be allocated of the surplus that we generated from the operation of the fire district in 2019? As I understand it, I see that some 81,000 of last year's surplus, that's 2019, got put into reserves, 66 into the building reserve and 15 into the apparatus reserve. So so there's already been an allocation of 81,000 of surplus from last year's operation. And there's another, did you say 50 that's unallocated?
Yeah, it's on page 2 of 10.
I see it, but I don't see, okay. So that's, I see 66 for into the building reserve. And I see another 15 into the apparatus reserve.
So
that's,
you see 50,395 total balance at beginning of the year. It started at 131,000
yes, yes.
and it goes down to 50. The 50 is what's left.
Yeah, we only have 50.
Oh,
left.
I see. Okay, well, that was simple enough to read. I just didn't. Sorry.
That's
So
okay.
we've put. I mean, this is. I'm going somewhere with this. So we've put 81 already into reserves. We have another 50 that could go into reserves. And then who knows, we might speculate about a surplus for this year. And that too, we would have an allocation issue to put into reserves.
Next year.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get there, but okay, just clarification. Just wanted to make sure I understood what was going on. There's another 50 from 2019 that has yet to be done anything with.
But I want to point out, and I know this is, putting a fine point on a pencil, except for the 15,000 that we decided to go for the chief car because I messed that up in the budget last year. It was money that had been earmarked somewhere. The 50 that's left is true reserve, is true extra money, and we have to decide.
No, I'm not arguing that a bit, Linda. Just wanting to make sure what got put where.
Okay.
Because
just wanted to say that.
As one year gets to the next, and we start doing reserving plus allocating of surplus, I lose track of how much we're actually putting into these. I mean, these are some pretty good sized numbers. But we haven't. We're not done with this year yet, so we don't know what our surplus is, if any.
That actually tell us what is in each account.
Exactly.
We should have spreadsheets that are telling us what's in each account.
Your volume up a little louder.
I didn't hear you,
I
Sandy.
can't hear you as loudly.
I don't know how to do that.
On your computer, it should be on the bottom bar, all the way to the right. There should be something that looks like a bullhorn.
It's all the way up.
Okay, Sandy, try one more time. What did you say?
I think we should have spreadsheets that spell out where everything is going to, what it's in the reserve for.
I do.
Oh, yeah, okay.
About the last meeting.
Okay.
It
just strikes me as there's a fair amount.
A lot of it.
We'll get to it. It's
I will send it again, Sandy.
if we have a surplus, anything like what we had last year, this year, then we're going to have quite a sum to.
65,000.
Is that all we're going to have is a surplus?
No, we had a surplus last year of 65,000. Everything else was earmarked.
Or long-term planning items.
If that's the way you want to look at it.
Well, that's what it was.
That's the way I look at it. I mean, it might not be the way you look at it, but.
But let's just assume we had another surplus of, I mean, we've got an awful lot of money that needs to get spent over the balance of the year. Now, maybe it's all going to get spent because the projects are all underway. But my sense is we're going to have another after earmarks.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves yet, and we're not ready to finalize the budget.
Good. I just needed to get clarification on 19, so thank you.
Yes.
Hey, Linda,
I will resend the detail of the reserve money.
Okay.
Okay. All right. can I have
Linda.
a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
I'll make it. I'll
Okay.
make that.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're good. All right. We have a chief. Fred. You there?
Fred's for the other board, and I never got a run from Jimmy.
Fred, okay. You have a report for us of any kind?
No, I was asked to come on behalf of Rodney to the president for the
Oh,
board.
okay.
So I don't have any of the chief's report information from Jim Erickson.
All right, maybe Sandy does.
Send me one. He didn't send me one.
No, I'm at the Jersey Shore right now. I don't have a report.
Let me ask one question. It involved in the chief's report. Somehow miraculously, we got the New York State DEC grant for $1,500.
Yay.
Yay.
I guess we were rejected enough that we earned enough points to get it.
Yeah.
So Sandy, you said Jim's working on, oh, here he
Oh,
is.
here he comes.
Excellent.
There he is.
Yes, I talked to him about the floater pump, and he's working on that.
He's working on getting it.
Mhm.
Okay, because they need to come down and actually see that we own it.
Yeah, I
And
saw that.
reimburse it.
Yep, and they're gonna reimburse half of it.
Yeah, or up to 1,500. Jimmy,
Yep.
Yeah,
we only see your head.
that's all right. That's what, barely see. There we go.
Hi,
Better than not seeing me.
you are just in time for your chief's report.
Okay, so we had a pretty busy schedule there. I don't know if you guys know it or not, but we were hoping that we could talk about the EOC, the Emergency Operations Center in Phillipstown. It never opens up, and we don't really understand why it's not open. And what should be done when it is open, that should be the contact point for at least a fire company to contact the highway superintendent, at least to have representative or a full crew from the town, from the Putnam County Highway Department. That would be nice there. And also the
Central Hudson.
highway, what?
Central Hudson and Verizon would be nice too.
Right. And then DOT would be nice if they were there, because then we could actually talk about Route 9 and major road openings. And if we had a problem, we'd have to saw our way in.
And is there a reason they don't, I mean, who's the guy in charge of that?
That would be the town supervisor, Richard Check.
And there's, I mean, they didn't open when we had that horrible ice storm, so.
No, they haven't opened there. They've never opened it as far as we know. And it's kind of a shame because they could have a direct line right over to the county. And the county did have a representative from Central Hudson there in their EOC. But a good example would have been we were on Chapman Road, 2.5 hours trying to go to a call to get Central Hudson to clear the road, and they never cleared the road. The EOC from Putnam County had to call the people back that was sitting in their car for 2.5 hours because of CO alarm. I mean, what is that about?
What time is that called, Jimmy? Wasn't that midnight or 12:30?
Yeah,
I remember
that
leaving
was-
home at 2:30.
That was a
in the
late
morning.
call. Late. That was like 12 o'clock, went on to 2:30 or 2
So
o'clock.
what should we do? Should we write a letter to Richard Shea?
Well, I think there should be a meeting with them and ask them exactly what's the situation. Also, why wasn't the rec center open at all as a maybe an internet station so people could have internet access?
Or cooling? It was
Cooling
pretty hot.
station, a lot of towns did that.
Excuse me?
A lot of towns made a cooling station where their
Right.
AC was on.
I'm just bringing a point out that they criticized us for opening our firehouse, but they're really not opening anything. They're not doing anything. And Garrison was hit so much harder than the rest of Cold Spring and North Highlands.
Well, that's because nobody ever drives down here.
Right. And we had calls where our fire trucks are going up from the Bird and Bottle on Old Albany going south. And we had to back up and go all the way around and come back in from Travis Corners. We really should be told different.
So Nat, would
Lack of communication.
you like to communicate with Richard Shea and request a meeting? And who else should be in that meeting, Jimmy?
Well, I think some district members should be there, and myself, and we should ask them, what's the status? Have them tell us why.
Okay, there's a town board meeting Thursday night. It got postponed from last Thursday night. So I'm happy to bring it up and see what to say. And if in fact it's better to approach them privately, I can do that too.
No, I don't think anything gets done privately. I think this is a public meeting is where it should be exposed.
Okay.
And that
I
way,
don't mind asking what the status was.
well, you have to be a little bit more than asking. You have to say, you know, we've noticed that this endangers. I'll give you the example. To go to Chapman Road, we had to go Old West Point Road east, go all the way underneath low branches, power lines that were swinging down low, drive over a set of power lines and go all the way into the road to find out it was blocked. You're putting our members at danger when the highway department has paid people that could be out there and identifying these problems and telling the EOC we shouldn't even be, we can't travel to that destination without Central Hudson being there.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's
Totally.
yeah, okay.
You're endangering not only our personnel, but you're endangering the fire trucks
And the
and,
public, because
and
you're
the public.
delaying response time,
right,
because you don't know what roads are closed.
correct. And also, we did a lot of cleanup on Route 9, and we didn't know DOT came out about an hour later. But again, we wanted to make sure cars weren't passing in a double lane. They were switching over on going northbound to the southbound lane. It was very hazardous out there. We did remove a lot of debris for the highway, the DOT.
Jim and Nat, this is Stan. I think we all agree that this should be revealed in public. My suggestion is that we prepare a written document that one of us read at the town board meeting. I think it's far more powerful. Actually, Jim, maybe you're in the best position to draft such document, which either you or one of us could read and give to the town board at a public meeting.
Okay, so we should,
Describing just what you've described.
right, so we may not be ready for Thursday. I'll draft it up and get it ready and do it, but we should detail, I should get the accounts. I should print out the calls that we were on, the dangers involved, what happened and why it happened and what we think could be better, and let them explain to the representative, whether it be Nat or yourself, explain to us how to correct it.
Yes.
Fine, I'm happy to read whatever you
Well,
want
I
me-
think it should be brought up at Thursday meeting, whether or not we have something to read, and just ask the general correct that we will be following up with more specific, with a scenario and more specific questions.
I think that's a good,
In the meantime,
yes,
maybe they should consider opening this center periodically. So there's a centralized coordination effort, which is what it's intended for.
right. And also about the rec centers, you know, what could it be? Why shouldn't it be thought of to be open? Why couldn't it be open?
Right.
There's no school right there right now. There's no reason for it not to be open.
Well, I will be on
I
the
don't
town
know.
board
Do
call.
they have a generator down there, right?
They have the county that was part of being a first aid,
They have a generator.
Red Cross
Oh,
area.
they had- Well,
Yeah,
they
Red
have
Cross
power
Yeah.
if you could get there.
Yeah, I'm happy to start the process because I will be on the call. And
Perfect.
I can, try to get the discussion going and ask why.
Right, it's very dangerous for us to go up a road that's washed out with dirt and trees and all sorts of debris and try and back that truck out of that area, maybe a quarter mile. it's extremely dangerous.
Sure.
Right.
Okay.
So that's one part of the phase. I think the guys, we did an excellent job. I think we cleared a lot of trees. We stayed late. We went to all the calls. Well, I think the fire company did an excellent, and the district did an excellent job on our job, what we had to do. As far as the trucks go, we only have still a ladder out of service. We have a small few things that have to be repaired on some of the smaller trucks, like the tanker. That just has to have the windshield wipers done and some small things done on it. Same thing with 2-1. We're still waiting for the fenders to come in. One side of the fender on the left-hand side. We're still waiting. We have a rocker switch on order now. I called them up and just for 2-2, just for the generator. And very small details. The ladder is, we are having the lights done over on the ladder, so that's taking a few minutes. I did put out some prices for the forestry pump. I'm waiting for prices to come back, Linda. That's
Great.
I've contacted people. It takes a little bit of time to get them. Some people don't even have that and don't do it, but I made a few calls.
Well, as long as we ask, we can get it from wherever we want.
I did. I've asked and we're working on it.
You
Yep.
know, I mean,
We had the fire trucks out this morning, so the building could be pressure cleaned and then put back in. We also were contacted by across the street if we wanted to deliver them water, and we said we couldn't. That's something we don't do. They were doing a movie shoot over there, and they ran the well out of water. So I told them to contact a private contractor, Transolito, that delivers water or something, that we couldn't do that because that's, the chief can't make that decision. It's the district that you own the trucks. And if a firefighter,
what kind of water did they want?
well, they just wanted water so they could spray down stuff. They were using a pressure cleaner, and then they were doing making some artificial snow they had to clean up when they were done.
And they didn't prepare for that? They expected the local fire department to handle it?
Well, yeah, that's how it
Oh,
works.
good for you to say no.
I did say, we don't handle that stuff right now. Oh, you guys are looking for donations, but I said, no, not really. You know, it's up to you. It's up to the board, the district board to give me the okay for that. And it was a very short time to ask questions. I also wanted to use the parking lot, and Dave was there and said no, because we had all the trucks out there. It was a little late to do that. They should have asked ahead of
Pretty
time.
busy there today.
Hey, Jim, this was that request that was made of Rodney. That's who that guy was trying to call.
You were correct.
Yeah,
And Rodney, I didn't get that. He didn't
Oh,
hand it
that
on.
was the guy?
yes, this is what that request was all about, that Rodney got the message from.
Did he pass that on to the district?
We briefly talked, I saw there was some kind of a brief talk about it, right? Was it last meeting or
He didn't
was
know
it?
the dates or when it was. He had no idea. He was
Yeah,
gonna
he
get
didn't know
back.
what it was, but
Details.
this was it.
Right,
I heard nothing about this until this minute.
right. I didn't either. So I would assume that it got confused from the president to us or the district.
Alls I heard was there was some question about using the parking lot, but it wasn't from who. He didn't know what it was. There were no dates. And then it died.
Yeah.
And so this is probably what it was. It might not have been. It might have been something else.
No, I think this was it. I think this is what they were trying to contact him on the phone for a long time, for several weeks. So. And you know what they did is they ended up calling the 911 center. He called me and said, hey, you know, these guys are trying to reach you guys. So I gave the message to Rodney.
Good.
Right. Well, it's not up to me, the fire chief. It's up to Rodney. That's nothing to do with me. It's to do with the district or the company board of directors.
And Rodney did contact myself and Sandy, but we had no details. So
We
it's
didn't know
hard
what
to
it
say
was.
yes or no.
Yeah.
So it's okay. It's passed and that's it. And I told him no.
Well, it was, like I said, it was very busy at the firehouse today and they shouldn't have been using the parking lot anyhow today.
It would have been a mess. It would have.
They were
Especially when the tree people were there before that.
watching, the brothers landscaping was there. It was a zoo.
Yeah, it was a heavy day. And that's about it. I think everything else is, I've got prices coming on that air pack that we talked about. That's coming in. I reminded them to give it to me ever since COVID. He forgot everything. And the ladders, they're working on that. It's coming.
Jim,
That's about it.
You didn't touch base on the restriping of the parking lot, right?
Oh, me?
Well, I guess
I
it would
didn't
come up under days, underground, right?
I didn't. I reminded you, remember, that it would
Okay.
be, it would be.
I'll bring
nice.
it up underground.
Right, it's a little faded out there and it should be done.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everything's okay.
Okay, good. But Jim, before you go, can I
Yeah.
just, if I'm going to raise some questions at the town board meeting on Thursday, am I able to say that within a period of time, we'd have a full report listing?
Yes.
What's that?
Yes, yes, within 7 days, we'll give them a report.
7 days.
I have to go in tomorrow for eye surgery, so when I'm done with eye surgery tomorrow, I'll be back to see things again. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I mean, you just tell me, that's all.
Okay. May I have a motion to accept the chief's report?
I'll move that.
Second,
Second,
Sandy,
Thank you.
all in favor? Aye,
Aye.
we're good. All right. Fred, do you have anything from the company? I thought you were somebody else.
I actually don't. Rodney had asked me to participate in tonight's meeting on behalf of the fire board. It was no talking points, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have of the board, if there's any information you're looking for.
Got nothing.
Okay.
Thank you for attending, though.
You're
How
welcome.
about correspondence? David's not here.
I have a question for Stan.
Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
Stan, we're on a fire call up past your house on the dead end.
Yes,
I didn't see an address on that up there.
I think, Jim, you were at the Frida's house. I'll speak to them. They didn't have enough, they
When
had,
they called the fire company,
yeah,
they fell asleep and I had to look for them in the house. Had to knock in the back windows.
they're an elderly couple,
Okay.
Joe and Ellie Frida. They've not been well. I'll talk to them about putting up a number.
Yeah, it would be helpful because if, I didn't see a number, but you might want to check your road just to make sure that you're identifiable. Okay,
Yeah, will do.
thank you.
Jimmy, pretty much you did the apparatus, right?
yeah.
Brett, yep. Sandy,
Yeah.
if anything's new with apparatus.
Only that we're still looking at a seat stuff towards the end of the year. We're gonna look at, purchasing, the seat stuff, we're gonna start that towards the end of this year.
And also, we
Placing
had,
those
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Also, we had 2 meetings so far with the truck committee.
Ah,
And we're very, I think we know where we're going now with the truck committee. And I'll be writing up a report, maybe for the next meeting. I'll be talking to Nat, and then we can turn that into the district and that'll be it. What we think we're doing.
that would be great because we're now entering into the 2020 grant season and you never know, we could always put in for some part of an apparatus too.
Right, we do see, yeah, there's a change. There's going to be a change. We felt that we looked at things very carefully. We bounced it around for a month and there's a change in pace that we have. We're gonna save money and we think we're gonna still shrink, but we're gonna do something different.
Okay, so
I'll let you know.
you're gonna prepare that and give it to Nat and then we'll talk about it maybe next meeting?
Yeah, I'd like to meet Nat in person to talk about that and go over it with him and then together we'll bring that in on the next meeting.
I'm right here, Jim. I'm right
We're
here.
gonna do a long-term planning meeting, Matt. We're gonna set up a long-term planning.
Right, I think that's an excellent
You
idea.
guys name it.
Yeah,
I'm here.
Probably in the next 2 weeks, we'll do that.
Okay.
So we'll prep ourselves for the next meeting coming up, and then we'll do a presentation on just giving you what we think is the new schedule. Okay?
All right, excellent. All right. Buildings and grounds, I know David isn't here, but again, the building has been power washed. It's getting painted and the doors have been degreased and they're gonna get, I don't know, bleached. And they're now putting the primer coat of paint on Station 2.
Looks nice.
So,
we're also getting bids for the bailout building. I have one bid in hand, and I'm gonna be getting two more, so I have 3 total bids, so we can, before the end of the year, we'll fix the bailout building. And and it'll match our building.
Okay.
And
so
also,
that's
as I alluded to earlier, we need to restripe the parking lot. It's stating it's very hard to see, can't see the landing zones that well. So we're gonna look at pricing out to restripe the parking lot as well at Station 2.
That's station 2?
Yeah,
Restriped?
Station 2. Station 1 has not been striped at all. I mean, it's just asphalt, but we're not gonna do that right now. We're mainly worrying about Station 2.
great. Thank you. Anything for finance and insurance?
No.
Let me look at that. I do. I don't know who it is. Our auditors sent a preliminary report, which I sent to Stan. I might have sent to Nat. I'm not sure. Jim, you got it. And I guess they're looking to make sure we tend to agree with it before they finally do it. They were waiting on a few things from Jim Pasikoff, which finally she came to me for. And I know that Stan and Nat both passed, Sandy and Nat both passed the information on to you, Jim, and she never got it. So then I got the information and sent it to her.
Was that the LoSAP information you guys
That
sent
was the LoSAP and the bills from the cancer policy. So I don't mind doing it, but that wasn't my intention that I should have. So anyway, the report is out there in the world, and hopefully we will. Did you look at it, Stan? I don't know.
No, I haven't looked at it yet, Linda. I'll take a look at that.
Okay, because I mean, I can look at it, but I won't know anything.
I think I can find it.
We're
Would
going
it
to
be
be
hard,
looking, sorry.
Linda, would it be hard for you to send it to me
Not
again?
at all.
Thank you. I promise I'll look at it quickly.
This is the preliminary 2019 audit.
Correct. I will send it to everyone.
Yeah.
And she was just asking, I don't know why I just figured, whatever, I figured it doesn't matter. There was something else there, but it left my head. Maybe it'll come to me again. Okay, so I will resend audit.
Thanks.
Okay. I can't remember. Community relations, there's nothing.
Well, no, ho. And you may prefer this in new business, but I have an idea about community relations, something that I've heard Jim talk about quite a lot, and I think we could. So, but it's probably better. It's probably better posed as new business, but it is a community relations idea.
Well, you've piqued my interest. Why don't you do it now?
Well, you know, and I know how busy Jim and Lee and Sandy and everybody is, but I've had several requests recently, and I know Jim is interested in, and I think any citizen would be interested. I'd be interested in having a pre-plan for this house, so that if in fact there was a fire at my house, that the fire department would have on their laptops, would have a, you know, would know where was the front and where was the back. But these things are hard to do when you only have a small group of people. And I understand that fully. I'm just thinking that this could be a line of business for somebody. I mean, you know, maybe it requires, and I'm biting off a lot here, but maybe it requires somebody gets paid, somebody gets trained and gets paid to when a community member wants, would like somebody from the fire company to come over and run through their house as to kind of a pre-plan in an emergency. I would think that people would pay for that. Just, don't you think?
So most of the houses here, you're already pre-planned already.
Okay, well, if it's all covered and if there's a pre-plan for my house, great, but I'd be willing to pay.
There is the only difference is that, and I know you asked me, but we were kind of very busy.
Well, sure, Jim, I understand fully. But you know,
let me just explain. On a pre-plan, what you're talking about, the main thing is to get out of the house and have a rally point. That's the pre-plan. The rest of it is automatically inside 911 center. And when we push the button, that pre-plan happens.
But how is it that, so there's a pre-plan for my house?
Every house in Garrison and every area has a pre-plan event. On 9D, we have a different pre-plan than over here. We have one different for the Institute. There's different amounts of equipment that are used for all the pre-plans. And that was just done, Sandy, when did we do that? January?
Yeah, it goes over what apparatus we're bringing from us, from other companies, where we're getting water from, all of that.
Gosh, residents would really love to know that there's a plan for that.
There has been a plan since before the district started.
Okay.
And that,
Jim, all I see here, and please understand where I'm coming from, I see a community relations opportunity. I see an opportunity, but I know that when I propose an opportunity that I have to come up with a plan because everybody is already stretched out and doesn't have the ability to do this.
what would you, no, but what you're saying is you want
Not
us to
gonna
come to
finish?
your house?
Okay.
No. Do you
Okay.
want us to come to your house?
Yeah, that's.
I think, Jim, this is just an idea. I'm thinking, and I'm trying to be realistic because I know that this is not something that I could ask the existing group to do. I'm thinking that maybe at some point we should propose adding, I don't know. I don't know who would staff this position. I just think that if we had someone available to, upon request, go visit a house. The Patakis wanted somebody to come by their house the other day because they're worried about, with all the kids in there, they're worried about what happens when in an event of a fire. They would feel a lot more comfortable and be willing to pay for it. I think even
Well,
on an annual basis.
The code enforcement officer to do that actually is the building inspector.
All right,
So-
well, then maybe it's the building inspector that would have to provide this service, but it just.
But he doesn't provide a full, what they're trying to say is when there's a fire, you should, if you go to the school and we do a presentation, Sandy will tell you this, we tell everybody at the school to get out of your house, close the doors, and go to your rally point. So when the fire truck shows up, they can start doing what they think they're going to be doing at your property.
Yeah, and they know the rally point has to be in the front of the house, by the end of the driveway where the fire chief trucks and the fire chief cars going to meet them.
I wish people would, I'd like to think that people knew exactly what to do, but I don't.
Okay,
Okay, it's just an idea. We don't have to go on it. I just thought that it would be something that we could do in the name of fire company relationships. That's all.
Yeah, we can talk about more about this offline if you want, if you want to try to delve into something.
I think it really falls, myself personally, when you go to the school rallies and we talk to the parents and them together, or the children, and we do fire prevention, we talk a lot about this. We go over and over and over and over the rally points.
We have also a lot of older residents that are not in the school.
Okay, can I suggest something? Now, I hear what you're saying, but I think you're also saying that someone might like a plan for their house.
Yes, he's saying that.
Yeah, I think people, I talked to Jim and Lee about, that there's a new person, that we have a new rector at St. Philip's. There are 3 or 4 buildings there. I just want to make sure.
Which building is this?
Jim, it's the St. Philip's complex, and I just, it may be that everybody knows all the buildings there, but it struck me that people who occupy those buildings would be happy enough to pay for an individual, somebody to come pay them a visit, and if it's the code enforcer, fine. If it's, I just figured that maybe there was an opportunity for us to.
Can I jump in here? I haven't spoken on this yet. I think the idea of community relations is great. We talked sometime in the past about writing articles or a series of newsletters.
Yeah, we did.
To make the public aware of what we do. And it seems this is a wonderful subject to write about, to let every community member know that there is a plan. Or whatever it is we tell the school children, we could tell everyone in town.
Maybe we could do something as simple as a postcard. And instead of putting in the paper, I don't read the paper, but putting it out and saying, you know, we just want to update you on, we do, you know, with all these emergencies we've had, this is the plan, that we do have plans specifically. And these are the things you can do to ensure your household safety, and then go on what you tell the kids at school. Because it's been a long time since I've had kids in school.
Right.
And, you know, I mean, I don't, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we all forget. So maybe that would be a nice, easy, simple thing to do. And we put the phone number down there or whatever, a phone number, and that if somebody wants more, then let's offer it in some way if we can, or point
No,
them
I
out.
think on that one, I feel very strongly that if someone wants to pay for a study of their house, they should go hire some private person who would deal with us. I mean, that's not something for the fire district to get involved in, because some people can pay. Maybe I could pay, but not everybody can pay.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't be in the business of providing paid service. That should be something the person should, Patakis can go to some private consultant who can then ask for information from us.
So what do we think about creating a PR postcard campaign?
I think that's a great idea.
It's not a bad idea. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Why are you guys coming to me?
No, I'm just asking everybody. You're next on my
Opinion.
list.
What do you think about a postcard?
I think it's a great idea, but who's going to do it?
Well, we have money in a budget. Maybe we can, you know, mock something up and then ask a professional to look at it.
I think that's the only way it would
I'd
happen.
look into that.
If we hired someone, it seems to me that's the only way we'd get it done.
Yeah.
Community relations.
And there are a lot of people at home with time on their hands who are looking for jobs.
Yeah.
Who could probably do this.
I have something else on community relations. I talked to John Van Tassel regarding the fire lanes. They're not going to address the fire lane down at the town board is not going to address fire lane down.
Wait, I'm losing you.
Can you hear me?
It's breaking up.
Well, I'm at the Jersey Shore, so I'm not home.
I know.
But I spoke with John Van Tassel. He said the board, Richard Singh does not want to address those that at the landing, that fire lane. So
What?
he said they don't want to address that fire lane down the lane. They're not going to talk about it. They're not going to deal with it. What John said is he would go down with me together and talk to the landing and talk to the boat club. That's what he wants to do. So I told him I would set it up and go down with him, and we'll see what we get from there. I don't really know where it's going to go. I also talked to him about the fire lanes at the Appalachians. I said, well, so all the fire lanes, it's not. He said, well, I don't think so. He said, I think those are covered under when they submitted their plans and they had to set up how the parking lot was set up for their plans. So we still need to do a little bit more research on that. But for community relations, we're going to go down to the boat club and we're going to talk to them, to the people at the boat club. And I'm going down with John Van Tassel.
Sandy, I'm curious, what did our attorney say? Like, what is the town's obligation if you bring it forward to them?
I don't know, Linda, if you want to call Mark before we set this up and see what grounds we have. I don't know. I mean, I think it's funny that the whole parking lot up there, so we had a spoke call, and that whole parking lot was empty, but there's one guy parked in our fire lane, but the rest of the spots were completely empty. He could have easily parked there, but he didn't. He parked in the fire lane. I just find it interesting, you know.
I can't believe they won't address it.
They won't address it. Richard State doesn't want to have anything to do with it. You know,
Legally, can they refuse to address
I
it?
think-
Is it not their
I think-
jurisdiction?
I think all they have to do is make a resolution saying, you know, the fire lanes that are marked out in the town are actual fire. He doesn't want to do it. But John did say he would go down and talk with the boat club. He thinks that the rescue should be parked down below anyway, not necessarily up by the memorial. But he said he's happy to go down there and talk. I would be interested to see how they react to him being on the board. I don't know.
So we're back to 6 months
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Or
I
a
don't
year
know,
ago.
do we want to talk to the lawyer? Maybe we want to call the lawyer, our lawyer, and see what he says, what our resources are. That's where we are with that.
I just can't believe, I'm sorry, that the town is abdicating responsibility for the safety of the public.
Yeah, they are. I told John, here's what I told him when we talked. I said, look, if you're not going to address the fire lane, what we're going to do when there's a call down there is I'm just going to take my truck down there and I park in the middle of the road and block everybody in. And he goes, well, it's an emergency. Then you should do that. And I said, well, that's what's going to happen if you don't address the fire lane. And he goes, well, why don't we go down and talk to the boat club? So I said we would, but really seriously, if there's a fire jolly.
Not the boat club.
What's that?
It's not the boat club, it's Dolly's.
I thought it was the landing too. I thought it was the landing people, but this is what John said. John wants to go down and talk to them, and he said he's happy to go with me. So I said, well, we can set that up. We can talk to the lawyer and see what our resource really is.
I don't even know if if that's the direction he wants to take, let's not involve the lawyer till we go, but
Okay.
it's still gonna have to be a town board decision.
Yeah, I know.
And they've made it.
That they don't want to do it.
Didn't they just say that they're not going to do anything about it?
I just told
Why are they
yeah.
even going to talk to
He
anybody?
doesn't want to address it. Mr. Tate does not want to get involved.
Don't we have to sort of accept that?
Not if they're legally responsible, do you? Don't they have to meet their
You guys
legal
fight it.
obligations?
We can accept that, and I can go down. John said he's happy to go down and talk to them, and we can see if we can resolve something. I told him in the meantime, if we have an emergency down there, I'm taking my truck and I'm parking in the middle of the damn road. That's what I told him. He said, you can do that because it's an emergency. So I said, that's what we're going to do. Block everybody in.
I think what we need to do here is to get something in writing. I mean, I agree with you, Nat. We have to accept their decision, but we should make them either write it down to us, tell us in writing that they're not doing it, or we have to write in our minutes that we approach them and they're not doing it in order to cover our butts.
I agree with Stan on that.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Good.
So who did Van Tassel talk to?
We didn't talk to you, Dr. Richards. And then I called him and I said, what are we doing about this? And he said, well, Richard, is not going to address this. He doesn't think it's in his space. He said, well, the town board has to make a resolution for our fire lane to be valid. I said, before I joined the firehouse, there were fire lanes there. This is not a new thing.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Kristen, can you include in our minutes that we had a report, this report that Sandy just gave us, that she approached the town board and they said blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, if you could include that in these minutes, that'd be great.
Okay, you talked to
No.
Councilman Van Tassel and he informed you that the town board was not going to address our fire lane issues.
But you would go down personally with me to talk to the people at the road.
Even if you talk to them, they're not going to take any official action.
No,
I'm just saying that the board is not right. They were just he's just saying he could give his guidance to help resolve it, to get, maybe we could park down below. I mean, but we'll see. I mean, maybe then he'll see what we're up against. I don't really know. But I think, like I said, I told him, it's like in an emergency, I'm just parking my truck down there right in the middle of the road, and everybody's going to be blocked in. That's it. And he said, that's what you should do. I said,
Oh, good. Well, that's exactly what we should do.
that's what he said.
Well, I mean, you don't have any choice. If there's a fire down there, that's exactly what's going to have to happen.
Right.
And if somebody complains about it, too bad.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I mean, the people that are going to complain about it are the people that are doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, Nat, thank you for that can of worms.
Linda, can I raise
I
one?
didn't bring up anything about the fire.
Community relations, that was me.
Right,
I
right.
said nothing about fire lanes.
No,
That was me.
it's something that we had to address, and I still can't believe they didn't do it. But
Thank you.
Kristen, if you have any other questions to add to the minutes, I guess you can just talk to Sandy independently.
okay.
Linda, can I raise one community relations issue, possibly?
One more.
One more. I mentioned this, I think, last time, this has to do with the elections in December, our elections.
Mhm.
And I think the end of the discussion last time was that somebody, maybe Sandy, was going to approach the lawyer on what other fire districts are doing regarding sending out mail-in ballots, et cetera.
I did ask him that.
He did send something.
Yeah, I sent him that out, and then he sent out the procedures, and it didn't sound like they were doing it. I mean, he didn't specifically address my question, but he said, here's the procedure, right? Did you see that, Linda, what he sent out?
He sent quite a big write-up. Did you get it, Stan?
I don't remember it.
Okay, well, it would have come in the last week, I think.
I don't have it.
I will send that too, as far as absentee ballots.
And
Yeah.
I'll resend, you can resend what I already asked him, because I did ask him that
What I
question.
will do, I'll resend it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Okay. Anything with LoSAP?
No, nothing's happening with LoSAP.
Okay. Long-range planning, you guys are gonna meet and
Yep.
discuss? Okay. Anything else? That? All right, grants. So we know we got that one DEC grant. And today I got a phone call from the feds and FEMA. We are in the second phase of maybe getting one of these grants we'd asked for. But we have passed a review of our peers and have now gone on to the second list. So we haven't been eliminated yet. So today I had to produce a bunch of documentation for them that they requested. And if we do get a grant, we have to do some historic preservation questionnaire. Makes no sense. I asked what the grant was for because we asked for two different things. The air cascade system, I think, whatever we just got for $2,000, we asked for the bigger system of that, and the washer and dryer, which we already bought. And apparently, to my shock, the grant is for both of them. So if we get one grant, we're going to get everything. I'm not holding my breath because the second line is still far away from the finish line, but we're farther than we have been in the past.
What were we officially approved for with the DEC grant?
About $1,500 to buy a what is it called? A water floato pump? or
Floater
something?
pump. Yeah, it's a floating pump.
It's to
Water
get water
floato.
out of something in the middle of the forest.
Okay.
We
We've
should
asked for it
also-
for 3 years now. And
I'm also working, we should be able to get money back for some of the things we had to put out for COVID. In other words, the Garrison cost us $540. We should be able to get that back. And I'm working on some of that money we put out for COVID. We should be able to get back. So I'm
how
working
do
on
we
it.
do that?
I got it. The county sent something out. It's a boatload of paperwork, but I'm looking at it and seeing. The ambulance corps is doing it, and I'm going to be getting together with the secretary or the treasurer that did it for them to see what paperwork has to be done so we can do it.
Okay.
Try to get some money back.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll recoup something from
Yeah.
somewhere. Okay. District health and safety. I assume physicals are on track.
Physicals are on track, yes. We are uploading.
Apparently, we've heard nothing about the web.
I haven't heard a thing.
Policies and procedures. We asked the lawyer Sandy asked him to get us something about the fact that sometimes, like the Joe Mercurio accident, some people were called and they wanted to take depositions from them. And so I don't know if I sent it, but he sent a one-page procedure that basically says, we don't do that. And if you do, you have to have a subpoena issued by the Supreme Court and a bunch of legalese. And if there were indeed going to have to interview them, they would only be done once. So I will send this out to y'all if I didn't already to look at it for approval. It's pretty much means don't do it. So thank you,
What are
Sandy,
we calling
for
that?
getting that from him.
What are we calling that?
It's called the non-party witness to legal proceedings policy. Non-party witnesses to legal proceedings policy. I don't understand what a non-party witness is, but
And we're going to vote on that at the next meeting after everyone can read it?
we'll certainly talk about it, yes.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't send it because I think I don't know, I just unearthed it today. So that was policies and procedures. Any old business? No. Okay, new business? Public comments. Let's do presentation of vouchers and then go on to the budget. I make a motion that we accept a voucher list of $14,000, $154.93 to pay.
Second,
All right, all in
Aye.
favor? Aye. All right,
Aye.
we all agreed to that.
Matt, I have a question for Matt. Matt, are
Now,
you?
Nat, the only thing is you're gonna have to sign those checks.
Yeah, I'm not
You're
around.
out of town, so are you
Okay.
home, Nat?
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay,
And,
great. David's
you know, Dave usually, I mean, would he have called, I mean,
I
I'm
know how we
just
tried to reach
back this afternoon
That's
and
it.
will be available tomorrow and can sign the checks.
Okay, the checks are in the fire station awaiting.
I'll just go
Second
up there and
Yeah.
sign them.
Dave,
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Dave talked to me, he thought you were on vacation longer than that.
Say it again?
Back
Dave
today,
thought Matt was on vacation.
back today,
longer.
because
Yeah,
I
we
wouldn't
were
want to
when you were
miss a
coming back.
Garrison Fire District meeting.
So, that ends the meeting portion of the meeting. And I don't know if anybody else got a chance to look at the budget. Jim Pasikoff, I have one particular comment about it. Actually, a couple comments.
Are we putting this in the minutes under what?
Under budget workshop.
Okay.
It's a very just a very preliminary one.
So are we going to end our original meeting and then reopen a budget workshop, or are we just adding
No,
on?
this is just part of this meeting.
Okay.
That's what I think. I think we're going to have another budget meeting.
I think you're going to have to if we're going to be ready for the attorney sent out the timeline.
We
Undoubtedly.
can actually get a bigger thing. This is hard to read, but Jim, on the third page, under, I don't know what it's under. It's under equipment. It's where we list the earmarked funds.
Yeah.
In the master plan that we had approved, or the 6-year plan years ago, for the roof and the floor, we've only allocated $10,000 for each of those this year, not 20. It's not the same as last year. It was actually reduced. We've come to the end of those earmarks. So the roof should only be 10,000 and the floor should only be 10,000. Not 20 and 20. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so those two things. However, what is missing is on this plan is we have the addition of a radio this year. And that was for 25,000. So that needs to be, the radio needs to be added to those categories, and 25 budgeted for that.
This is for first pass in 2021.
Correct.
Okay.
So
Then on
two
the
go
radio-
down 10, and then when a new category gets added for 25. And we're hoping we're going to learn something about, radios.
We're going
maybe
absolutely
before that.
behind on this radio thing. I mean, we're,
But we need to start dealing with it. But if you don't want to put it in that, we can wait.
well, I mean, you know, so far we're being told, well, okay, maybe we should put it in because we know at the very least that there's going to be a part that the local companies need to do on their own. But we don't have any guidance.
This is all supposed to happen.
On that, is there anything that the county has put in writing about these radios?
No.
No, nothing yet.
Bizarre.
So, I mean, my opinion is let's put it in and we can always take it out. We got a long way to go before October.
Okay, I mean, that was certainly part of our plan. So if it's in the
So
plan, if
that's-
it's in the plan, then.
It's in the plan. That's why I wanted to redo that. Jim, there's a line item under firematic operations in boat operations and maintenance.
Yep.
you have put $1,000 in there. It should remain at zero. That money comes out of just vehicle maintenance and repair.
Okay.
So that should go to zero. My question to Jim, Jim Erickson is, I noticed you reduced the food and the fuel costs under firematic operations by $1,000. Is that based on current spending, Jim Pasikoff?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, Jimmy, I'm assuming those categories are lower because of the COVID situation.
Absolutely.
So what do we do
everything-
about that?
Well, I mean, it's going to resume next year as the same budget. So, you know, if you lower it, we're not going to be able to.
Yeah, I don't think those things should be lowered myself.
Okay.
Jim Erickson, have you seen the budget that Jim Pasikoff is
I have not seen the budget.
proposing?
This was just sent out today. And it went to Jim, but
It was
he
in,
got a copy of it. But it's hard to read.
so that's my personal opinion. You can leave it the way it is, but I think we should not reduce those line items, but that's me.
So are you done, Linda?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm just hitting the big ones, and there is a big one. Yes, I believe, and I could be wrong, Jimmy Erickson would know, David would know. I believe we finished paying off the tanker.
It's true. There's no 23, there's no 23, 138 this year.
So that should be zero.
Right.
It is.
But it says the change, there's a change.
I thought I saw a 23 in there for the 2021.
It's still in there. Jim Pasikoff is still in there. Should come out.
All right. What page are you on?
I don't know. Oh, page 10 of 15 at the top.
Yeah. Okay. I meant to take it out.
Yeah, I could see that you did, but it should be in parentheses, I guess. So
Okay.
it should be gone. That's
Okay.
They're the radios right there. And I believe that's all I have for now. But
Okay. Let's talk about some other things while we're at it then. On on page 5 of 15, there are two items, fuel and gear. This is, I didn't drop, we haven't spent anything for fuel this year. We spent very little for fuel this year. I dropped the budget $1,000 because I have absolutely no idea where this is going to go. And the same thing holds true for the electric and the fuel for the heating the buildings. I dropped it a little bit, but we have no way of knowing where this is going to go. So I'm really leaving it pretty close to what it was last year.
all right, those were the ones that I was thinking this is what Jim Erickson was saying, that next year they'll probably go back, operations will go back to normal.
Can I interrupt?
Yeah, but fuel is still pretty low though.
Oh, okay.
Can I ask that this kind of discussion of 1,000 here and 1,000 there be deferred until we all have the document in front of us?
Absolutely.
And then we focus on big issues for now?
Yes.
Fine.
That's perfect. I just wanted to address the two $10,000 and the 23,000.
Yeah, thank you. Now, Nat, I know you have some, and I've said before that I haven't looked at the document yet, but I have one issue to raise at this point, even without looking at the document. I assume that the rent category has been zeroed out because the contract we have with the company was a 5-year contract and ends this year, 2020.
I did not zero out rent.
Where is it?
Way back in the back.
And I don't think we can really zero it out because it's got to be renegotiated. not down to zero. It's gonna be renegotiated.
At the moment,
It's on page 12 of 15.
at the moment, there is no contract for the district to pay any rent in 2021.
I think we should relook at what we signed, because I think it needs to be renegotiated. It says it in the contract, I believe.
Yeah, and I, as you know, I would argue for zero. But I think unless and until there is a new contract, we can't put anything in our budget.
There you go.
What do we do about the contract?
I would say nothing.
I believe that we can't, so we need to reread it there. Because I believe it says if it can't come to some negotiations, then it's got a modest increase on it. We need to relook at that. I don't think it's down to zero this year. I think it may go down to zero a couple years out. Jim, can you help us with this, Jim? Do you remember?
Where would we find this copy, a copy?
I have a copy of this contract. And as I recall it, it was a 5-year contract, period. And I think before we as a district agree to any additional rent, which I would argue against, we need to see how the rent has been spent. I don't think we've had any report from the company showing us how the 125,000 plus that they've received over these 5 years.
Well, we know 50 of it went to the sign.
I've never seen a 50. I doubt that, Linda.
We had a very complete report a year or so ago. We just haven't had any follow on it.
Okay, well, I'd like to see that.
You know, and I think Stan's right. We should, because the report was excellent a year ago. If we could only get another one, we would see where the money went.
I agree.
So who do we ask for that, Rodney?
That's the company, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be Rodney. Well, I don't know, oh, you don't have, what's his name anymore, but Rodney is the one.
So I will send an email to Rodney. Or should we put it on district letterhead?
I think we should put it on district letterhead, but I think we also need to get a hold of that contract that we signed 5 years ago. Because I believe it says.
We need to know, we need a report from the company. And I assume, are you guys still waiting for Brad Miller to come up with something?
No, you're not waiting on Brad anymore. Jim, you want to pipe in? Jim, Eric?
Yeah, I do. I think you should be sending it to the board of directors.
Oh,
Okay,
that's a good idea.
because the board of directors answers all questions, and we're gonna have a board meeting at the end of the month. Also, that we had sent out all our paperwork because Brad Miller gave us a set of books that we could not use in Quicken. So we're paying an accountant in Beacon to put all of 19 and 20 on Quicken so we can give you that report. That is being done as we speak.
Wow. Okay.
Because we had to file a 990, that we filed for an extension, that we made a deal with the accountant that we want all our transactions put on a disk, because we don't have Brad Miller no more. So, and no one else is doing it. They're just doing the regular paperwork. So that's being done by a professional accountant.
Great.
So that's the holdup. It's
Sorry you have to do that, but thank you.
19. We're going from 18, the end of 18 to 19, and then he's adding in all of 220. So that's where we are. It's coming.
So Brad's out, we're paying a professional to do it. It's gonna be better now.
And we also have a preliminary. So if you ask for the board of directors on the budget for this year, I would ask for the budget for 19 and the budget for 20. That's what you're looking for, the budget. Okay.
So Fred, are you still there?
No.
No,
Oh,
Do I know who the board of directors is? Is it listed somewhere?
Rodney Tudor is the president of their board.
Yeah, but I want to send it to each and every one of them.
If you go,
You
Sandy,
can send it
later
to
on,
Chris, that's their secretary, and he decimated to the board. That's what I do.
It would go to the board and I'll give you the email address.
Okay, can you send it to me?
Yeah. And when we're done, I'll forward you the email address and then if you send it to this address I give you, it'll go to everyone on the board.
Perfect, thank you. And I'm going to ask the board of directors for their budget for 2019 and 2020, which we've never received, and an annual report for 2018 and 19, right?
The annual report, yeah, that's, we might have,
990?
you want the 990?
Is that what it
I
is?
don't know what it is. Stan, what are we
Is it the
missing?
990?
I think it's the 990s. I think we want the 990s for each year.
But we had such a good
For
report.
18 and 19, because
and
we
that
never
is
got
right.
18.
That is right. We had a good
I
report.
wonder what happened to that format. I mean, it was terrific. It had everything. Is that
That's what
because we've
Jimmy and
changed
Lee-
auditors and Brad's gone and?
No, it had nothing to do with Brad. It was Jimmy and Lee that made that report.
It was Jim.
I made that report.
Jim did it.
Boy, it was good.
So,
It had everything. And it was beautifally presented and.
What should I call it when I request it? It should just be a
I
spending
bet you, I
report?
bet you I got it someplace.
I think it should be just the budget, right? For the
spending
company budget.
It showed the budget and it also showed the various reserve funds that the company holds.
That's correct.
And it also showed
Thorough. It was totally thorough.
the use of the rent.
It's
Yeah.
probably in the minutes somewhere, but who knows?
I have a copy as well.
Good report.
You know where it is, Stan?
I think I have it.
You send it to me so I can maybe
Well,
send.
It was a multi-page report.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, it's not in your file. It's not in your
no,
computer.
No,
It was separately prepared, had a nice cover.
a
It was really good. I'll look, see if I've got mine.
Okay.
I have mine, so.
That report you're talking about for 2019 and
Yeah.
2020,
It
no,
was earlier than that, Jim.
2018.
no,
Didn't cover 19.
those have been done already. So you should be able to get those.
But I don't know what it's called. The spending report?
No, it's the 2019 budget.
Budget for the company.
It tells all our accounts and all our budgeting for the whole year.
Okay.
But hold it. We've asked for this on more than one occasion.
Of course we
certainly have.
So
You may want to check with, I'm not gonna, Nat, I'll call you tonight after the meeting. Okay?
me,
Yes.
Yeah.
I start drinking that then.
No, slow down on the beer and I'll intercept there in between.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, I'll talk to you when I call
He
you.
doesn't want to tell us.
Okay. So
You know what it is? It's going to be a very tough, listen, there are people on the board that believe that they don't have to give you anything. And that is just a new thing that just happened. The old board that was with previous believed in working with the district.
Transparency and openness.
Well, Jim,
and
then
don't have any
if that's
prejudice.
if that's the case, then we'll just have to accept that and have to, it seems.
No,
But
put in
if
your
I agree with
request-
Stan, it's going to have a bearing on the budget.
Right, put in your request and let's see where it goes. I'm more than willing to work with the board to get that request out.
I think we've
so,
asked
I mean,
in writing.
I don't understand that a current board would not agree to send us their budgets. It doesn't even make sense.
I understand, but there are people that say that,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Okay.
you know where I'm going.
It'll come out in the, it'll come out in the budget. I mean,
Sandy's
our
gonna
budget.
send me the stuff and I'll ask.
It's just yeah, we'll deal with it. We'll work with it.
All right.
Sure.
Let us make a, okay.
Matt, don't forget I'm
When
calling you.
should we have our budget meeting?
It would seem sooner rather than later.
I
Keep
agree.
in mind, the paperwork has come out from the attorney, and no later than September 29th, we have to have our proposed budget complete.
So why don't we have a budget meeting
done.
either next Monday
I can't
or
do
the
next Monday.
following Monday?
I can't do next Monday.
How about the 24th?
24th I could do.
Okay, and Jim, you will send something to
Yeah,
who is going to have it enlarged.
yep. 11 by 17.
Let me just make sure, because I think I'm involved in this. So Jim, you're going to revise, take a couple of, or at least take that 23 out, right?
Yeah, I'm going to add a couple lines and fix the 23. I've got to get the final assessed valuation from the Phillipstown and put that in, and then I'll
but you can just send it to me. Don't have to send it to anybody else. And I will figure out how to
Okay.
take that email up to Gray Printing and get us all some copies. And when I have done that, I'll let you all know that they're waiting for you with your name on it in the firehouse. And you just stop by, and hopefully everybody will have had a chance to work them through by the time we do the meeting on the 24th, right?
Very good.
Very good. Good plan.
In person on the 24th, correct?
I think we should try to do that.
I think we should do in person.
Okay.
Same time, 7 o'clock?
So Linda, can I make one more suggestion?
Yeah.
7 o'clock's okay. And maybe this is something you would be willing to take a whack at, or, I mean, you know, I don't know what your all's experience has been with budgeting exercises, but I've done it for, and do it for a couple of different nonprofits in town, and they all start with kind of a sort of a cover sheet. You know, what are we trying to accomplish? What are the 5 things that we're trying to accomplish this year in the budget? You know, sort of, maybe we should think about, before we get too far into the details, maybe we should just think about some of the things that, some of the bigger picture items that we're really wanting to get done this year.
Yeah, we should have that.
And you know,
We do that every year.
Not this year though, it's 2021, right? We're looking at.
Yeah, but we've done that every year, Nat.
Okay. Well, of course we have, but we've, you know, for example, this year, one of our goals might be, I mean, I was sort of offended. Now I know that Jim, it's just a calculation, but when I saw the preliminary budget of 800 and some thousand, and it was a 4.4% increase. I mean, it just struck me as, it just, and now I know it was just a calculation, there was nothing meant by it, but it almost offended me. I mean, we're not talking about, you know, I mean, if this is, if there's anything, if there ever was a year that we could, you know, we could consider a flat budget, it would be this.
Absolutely.
I agree with you, Matt,
I can't think none of us think that.
that we have to increase. I don't agree we have to increase it all either.
I think, and nobody will be surprised to hear me say this, that flat would be the absolute top. I don't see why we couldn't have a reduction in budget.
We might.
And I have to say, I am there also.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm there yet, but I'm definitely flat, definitely.
Okay, so let's find out I need to talk to David because he's the most knowledgeable about what needs to be done as far as the buildings and grounds. And he knows what he's got planned and what he doesn't have planned. And that way we'll know what we're going to spend this year and what we still have left to do.
And
So,
that's the first part.
24th of August, beginning at 7 o'clock.
At the firehouse.
At the firehouse, socially distanced. And Jim, if in the course of the next day or two, you are able to get me the latest, I will, by 24 hours thereafter, have big spreadable copies for people to pick up at the firehouse. That
Sounds
could happen
good.
by the end of this
And
week.
can we also plan our September meeting? The second Monday in September would be the 14th for a district meeting via Zoom.
When do we have to have the budget?
29th of September. If you meet on the 14th, you would have 2 more Mondays because it's due by Tuesday, the 29th to be finalized.
So why don't we plan on September meetings of the 14th and the 28th right now?
Okay.
But can we meet in person? Or can we meet in person?
What did you just say?
Instead of Zooming, can we meet in person?
Do you want to do the district meeting in person or you just want to do the budget workshop on the 24th in person?
I think we should do them all in person because they're all going to be budget workshops.
Wait,
Okay, so
what did you say,
planning for
Linda?
the 14th and the 28th to be in person.
You're saying in person too, right? Linda?
I think they all should be in person.
I
myself.
agree, it's so much easier in person than doing it like this.
If you're doing budget, yes, there is.
Yeah.
I agree.
What the dates in September 14th, would you say, Kristen? 14th and
14th is going to be the traditional, would be our regular, well, we're going to call them both district meetings, but the 14th is the meeting we would always have, and we're going to add the 28th, because as per the paperwork, let me flip on my screen, because I don't have everything printed out, but I believe the attorney timeline, let me just look on it. On or before September 29th, we have to adopt a proposed budget.
So
Okay.
we're gonna do that on the 28th.
We need to be done by then.
Yes. So we're gonna have a meeting on the 24th. And we're also gonna have our regular monthly meeting on the 14th, but that will also be a budget workshop.
Yes, and then the 28th, we're gonna have
Will be a budget workshop and anything else we have to deal with.
and the next 3 meetings we're doing in person.
Yeah.
The next 3 meetings.
So because I don't know where we're gonna go with this and what's gonna happen, I think the Zoom account costs us $12 a month. My suggestion would be at this point that we not delete the whole thing yet.
I agree.
We don't know where we're going after September or what's gonna be.
I
I
agree.
think even if we don't use it for 1 month for $12 to delete the whole account and have to reprocess all over again is,
No,
Just leave it active because once the cool weather comes, we don't know what's going on.
and maybe like sometimes we've had these things with snow and stuff. According to Mark Butler, anytime you want to do this, since I've created our channel, if at any point there's bad weather or it's the winter and everyone doesn't want to be going out, we could turn to Zoom. We meet all the requirements regardless of the governor's order. If we Zoom and it's available on the YouTube channel, you can go remote like this anytime you want.
Okay, well, it might be worth just keeping that.
Sounds like it to me too. Just keep it for $12 a month. Yeah.
And then I don't know what we want to do long term because I did get an email from the company. I guess if you do a year membership, it's cheaper. It's
Yeah,
not
that's what I have a year membership. It is cheaper.
I just didn't know if we were going to keep it that long originally. I don't know what you guys want to do about that, but you could certainly do a yearly subscription. It's
Because,
less
I mean, who
money.
knows?
It's
We
less
may
than
decide that
$10
some meetings are best handled by Zoom, in normal times.
Yes.
Here's one last budget related question. Would it be useful for everybody to have, or Jim, is it redundant? Do we need to have the July 31st financials close at hand to be able to work best with the budget? I'm just thinking maybe you could.
Well, I put
I
you
already
on the-
have.
On the 15-page one, the July 31st numbers are on there.
Good. So there would be no need to have it separate. Okay.
No, but you might want to have the June 30th numbers together, what I sent you last month, because there you just double them.
Okay. Well, I'm just, first things first. As
That
soon as
doesn't
you get me the budget workshop 15 pager or whatever it is.
It'll be a lot less when you, I think it's,
Jim, whatever it is, I'll get it in workable form so
It's-
people can spread it out and easily turn it over and refer back and forth and work with it.
yeah, it's 8 pages.
When it's bigger, it's 8 pages.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Grace can do it. So if you get it to me, I'll take care of it and make sure you guys all have it.
Okie dokie.
And target is that you have it, that I let you know by the end of this week that it's at the firehouse for you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nat.
Okay, may I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Yes, you may.
All
Sandy
in
and
favor?
Stan, thank you.
Aye. Adios.
Okay.
Thank
Bye,
you all.
you guys.
Thank
All right,
you.
we'll see everybody.
24th,
in
if not
person for the
before.
next one.
So I'm just
Night.
meant to go up to the firehouse tomorrow and sign, or
Yeah.
I'll be in touch
Yeah,
with you.
yours is the only signature required.
Yeah, checks are all there. Dave said you can send them.
Okay, fair enough. Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Come on, Lee.